I'm Alex. Today I'm going to go over the differences between static stretching and dynamic stretching. Now let's get started. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a brief explanation of what static stretching is and what dynamic stretching is, and basically when you should be doing these stretches during your workout. First, we're going to talk about static stretching. These are basically any stretches where you are staying still and you are holding a certain stretch for a period of time. A few examples of static stretches that I like to do are very simple. Just have your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, reach down to each leg, reach toward the center, holding it for about 15 to 30 seconds. Some other ones are you keep your feet together, nice and straight, and you reach toward your toes, reaching down. You can do stuff like side splits, try to hold like a middle split position where you're sitting back and you're reaching down to each leg. The list goes on and on. I think you guys kind of get the hang of what a static stretch is. There are a ton of different options, kind of just pick which ones you like to do. But basically, static stretches is just ones where you are staying still and you are holding a certain position for a period of time. Now for dynamic stretching, this is basically any type of stretch where you are moving. So the first thing that always comes to mind for me is a stretching kick. You keep your leg super straight and you swing it up and then back down. That's basically a dynamic stretch. There's a few other different things, like you can do like side swings with your leg where basically you're swinging it up and then you look behind you and you swing it up, kind of like a side kick motion behind you. You can do things like very light kicks. That's what I personally like to do, just doing kicks about 30% speed and power, nothing too crazy. That also counts as a dynamic stretch. Basically anything where you are moving your body, that's basically a dynamic stretch. But it's not quite like a workout, like you're doing like full kicks or punches or anything like that. Just very light movements to get your body warmed up and loose. Now let's talk about when you should be doing your static or your dynamic stretching. Now, ideally, you want to do your dynamic stretching at the very beginning before you start your workout or your training session. This is to basically kind of really warm your body up, get the muscles nice and loose. And the best thing for me personally is to warm up with movements that I'm going to be training. So if I'm going to be just doing a lot of kicking, I'm basically going to be doing my stretching kicks, I'm going to be doing some footwork to warm up, and then I'm basically going to be warming up with kicks. Like I said before, 30% speed and power, just light kicking, that's going to be my dynamic stretching movements, warming up with what I'm going to be doing. Now, as I kind of get progressively into the workout, it kind of shifts into more static stretching. I'll do some really light kind of static stretches, like just feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, reaching down to each side, very light and loose. I'll do that a little bit towards the beginning, but more so towards the middle and definitely at the end. That's typically when you want to do your static stretches, is at the end, when your body is nice and warmed up, it's loose, you've already done your workout. That's the best time to do static stretches, especially ones where you're trying to do more like side splits or like a full split, stuff like that. You want to make sure your body is really warmed up because one, you're going to get the most out of your stretch. If you're warmed up, you're going to be able to push it out a little bit further, but also it's going to help you prevent any injuries. If you try to go out really far doing any type of like splits movements and your muscles are still pretty cold, you're going to have a higher chance of risking an injury. So make sure that you focus most of your static stretching at least towards the middle, or definitely just save it towards the end of your training session. So a quick recap, static stretches are basically where you are staying still and you are holding a certain stretch for a certain period of time. Dynamic stretches is basically where you are moving your body. Stretching kicks, light kicks, stuff like that is going to be your dynamic stretching. And when you should be doing these stretches, towards the beginning you want to mainly do dynamic stretching and then basically progressively start transitioning into static stretches towards the middle, and definitely save those static stretches for the very end. So dynamic stretches basically for your warm-up, static stretches are best for your cool down. I hope you all found these tips useful. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what else you would like to see in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like us on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys later.